Sup shooters, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we'll be checking out a track from an act named Bex Bright titled Memo, featuring Justis Chanell and Ambidextrous. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track on SoundCloud. We're going to be listening through it from start till finish. You're going to hear what we think. Is that the album out there? It is the single out, should I say. Memo, start till finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go. I've been reviewing a fair bit of stuff from Bex Bright lately, so I'm always happy to hear more, you know? Oh yeah, definitely that trap kind of vibe there. It's loud. Ooh, it's loud. I like the use of the synths. Those sequences are kind of dope there. Great presence of the lady vocals in there. Interesting use of the guitars as well. Interesting combination of textures. Nice portamento on the bass.
Clutch my pearls. It's a doggy dog type world. I'ma get it if I want it type girl. In case you ain't heard, I've been in a crazy place lately. I got on my poker face, space. Hey, what's the costly days of being great? They just wanna give me crumbs and take my cake.
They just want to give me crumbs to take my cake. Damn, dude. She got a great presence to her vocals, and the clarity of those words is fantastic. Like, this is a really good performance.
Nice little climb if you do it right. In the meantime, make them real mad. Turn around, then I take it, I bypass. Seen it all, no tear, no eyelash. And I never give up, that's a life hack. I'm gonna be okay, that's a guarantee. Giving just to take, been deprived of my energy. In and out the way, I'm getting hard to see. No matter what you are, they always want to listen. So what'll it be? You giving up everything, grabbing your keys, pedaling and pissing.
Nice pairing of a different rapper with a different type of flow. We're working with these triplets here. Justis was a bit more freeform, but Ambidextrous. Yeah,
Stacking some beats, ready to drag me, I get it, I got it. I feel like you win it as soon as we started it. Conserving your watering, who's got in you watering? Lately I'm thinking of something you started, and part of me hardly believe you been gone again. Wondering on again, I just can't be there to tug on your heart again. Father, oh God, I'm in. This shit got me pondering. Together we better, so why she starting shit? Hooping and hollering, pity and modern, painting a picture of all I've been harboring. I'm holding my sentiment close. And every day lately it's sad. I think maybe we took the wrong path that we chose. Now hear me out, baby, I'm thinking that maybe we can meet someone while walking the road. I wrote it all down in the snow. I'll read it all off, just go.
There was a lot of words there. It's difficult for me in the sense that, like, oh man, I'm trying to concentrate on everything. I suppose the motif has been instantiated. We had a continuity with the use of those basses and drums and everything like that. A lot of elements were similar to the chorus. So I really could have listened more carefully. And I was, trust me, it's just, there's a lot of words. I'm going to probably have to listen through this again after this, just before I do the conclusion. But
giving just to take, been deprived of my energy. In and out the way, I'm getting hard to see.
Think you never know what you mean to me.
And just to bring it all back, I've been calculating the right equation. Somehow I messed up the math.
But it don't add up. You saddled up. You don't hit the road like you mad.
Not getting the picture. I got the picture and I'm tired of filling up your glass.
Glass fades. Did a lot of washing as I cleared your name.
Team player, I'm thinking I might pass.
I don't even wanna ask you.
I'm a beast, nothing I can't do.
True.
Just talk, I don't wanna argue.
True.
I got plans to plan, destinations, no sedan.
Oh shit, well then what's your
Well,
plan?
let's fix it then.
Well, okay. Let's say that I pray that you say my name. What then? Am I stuck with that constant gaze every time that I speak?
I'ma be that girl, I'll explain. New mindset, this the same old thing. I don't have no beef. Look at my plate, no complaints. I'ma be okay. I'm gonna be okay, that's a guarantee. Giving just to take, been deprived of my energy. In and out the way, I'm getting hard to see. No matter what you are, they always want a piece. Irony.
okay. I liked the major tone of the end after the conversation they had with each other. It was kind of dope that they had that back and forth between the two of them. Oh, there's a lot of words, man. I'm going to have to review. I'm going to listen through this track again and then we'll do the conclusion, okay? I'm not upset or anything. It's just I got to just absorb it. Just want to make sure there's nothing at the end. Okay, be right back. Okay, so this is the conclusion of my review of this track Memo featuring Justis Chanell and Ambidextrous from Bex Bright. What do I think this track is about? I think it's about two people talking from their different perspectives, and things aren't quite right. Maybe they have like a connection or something. They're like, or their lives aren't going okay. There's just a bit of drama at the moment. I think eventually what happens is the guy's like, "But I care about you," or something like that. And then the girl, Justis, she's like, "Yeah, but I've made mistakes. I've messed up. I've been taking care of myself, but it hasn't been working out, and there's still issues." Or maybe like she's feeling like she has to take care of herself because she doesn't feel safe showing vulnerability. And the guy's like, "Well, hang on, like, is there drama?" And she's like, "No, there's no drama." And then eventually they get to a point where they feel as if everything's going to be okay because there is no beef, like the plate's clean, etc. They're working it out and everything's going to be okay. And that's the memo basically, is that they've kind of sent each other messages, and then eventually it's like, oh okay, so yeah, okay, they get the memo now. Basically, they understand that they're really on the same wavelength, and everything's gonna be okay. That is my understanding of what this track is about. It could be completely wrong, and I will own that, and it'll be fine. That's my best shot. There's just like the vocal performances from both these, Justis and GD Ambidextrous are fantastic. They're great rappers. The vocals and the clean vocals and the choruses are great. They're melodically, they're fantastic. They harmonize well. The flow is really interesting. I prefer Justis's to GB Ambidextrous's. There's just a little bit more variety in it rhythmically, but I still appreciate the continuity and the ability, the flow, and the technique of GD Ambidextrous to keep those triplets strong for as long as he did in those parts. There's pros to both. I can appreciate both of the different styles equally, and I think that having two different rappers with two different approaches is important because it allows the track to remain a bit more fresh, especially when they come together later on in a more sort of conversational tone, and then they harmonize together at the end in a more major sounding chorus. And in regards to the actual structure of the song itself, at 3 minutes 11, we get a lot. We start with the hook with lots of different sort of like bass and guitar parts. Well, no, we don't start with the hook. It starts kind of more like low tempo, isn't it? Yeah, with vocal chops and everything like that. Shimmering kind of like synthesizer with oscillating going alongside. Both vocalists come in with a bit of sort of like modulation on it, and the guitar parts and stuff, and then we have the bass and the drums come in. So that there's been clear effort to make this track as interesting as possible. And I think that Bex and Bright and whoever else was involved with that smashed it out. I think that they did a great job with the production. I've been watching Bex and Bright for a while. They're continuing to grow and develop, and they're in a really strong place at the moment. I'm glad to see that music is getting a lot of views, because I think they deserve the support. I mean, like, when you've got all that stuff going on with the different synthesizers, basses, guitars, playing different melodies there, but you've still got such a simple concept for like a bass line with little perks of like sequences, those arpeggiators there, and then whooshes and everything like that. It sounds so random with the individual elements, but it's knowing how to sort of like stitch them together. That's the difficult part, and they managed to smash it out of the park here. The motif, the track starts with this really kind of somber, low-key, kind of uncertain, kind of da-da-da-da-da, bum, bum. Some sort of like some harmonic minor or melodic minor kind of stuff going on there with some interesting kind of diminished chords or whatever. And then you kind of have the continuation of that motif with just the bass and stuff to allow the vocals kind of to go over top of it. And then for it to change tonality later on in that interlude part to get a bit softer when they're actually conversing with each other. And for that chorus to then be a bit more majorous and a bit more kind of upbeat is fantastic. I mean, I like the fact that we were able to not just copy and paste the hook, that we switched up the chords that we're using, the different textures made it a little bit less intense and sort of like full on there with less textures in that last half. It's more sort of synthy and smoothie and kind of flowery and buttery there to show that things are okay. It's more relaxed there. Tonally, that makes a lot of sense. You'd have no filler in this track, from the instrumental intro with the vocal chops or the modulated vocal runs there to the hook, then Justis's line, then hook, then GD Ambidextrous, then hook, then interlude, and then outro. There's no filler in here whatsoever. There's constant attention to detail. It's a really strong track. And it's weird that I have a duet between a male and a female rapper just get pulled off so well. Like, sometimes the chemistry between the two can be kind of awkward or something like that, but they managed to smash it out of the park here. It genuinely sounds like they care about each other. I don't know if it makes me wonder whether there's anything going on in real life, not like that's any of my business but you know what I mean. And the irony is that with all the complication of the pads, of the synths, of the little buttery parts, of the little kind of like automated kind of fizzy bits going around, of the percussion, and the various sort of trap rhythms in different grooves there, you know, and the bass lines portamentoing in their mid-range now, not just staying in the low end, and the guitar parts with the reverb and filtering on that. The actual theme is so simple. There's a unison between a lot of the melodic elements in that hook section that make it stronger. It's not overcomplicated musically in regards to the arrangement and composition. It's just they managed to polish and sort of make it very zazzy and kind of more sophisticated than it would be if we'd simply kept it minimalist. And this is one of the few situations where I feel like having that much going on and that being busy as it is makes sense, because it mirrors the kind of the uncertainty and the stuff that's going on in the heads of the people who are telling the story. It makes sense that things would be busy when there's that uncertainty and that chaos there. And when things get to the end and they kind of pan out and even out a bit, it's better. It's great. I think I'm just going to have to be thinking about this track for the rest of the day, to be honest, because there's a lot more I want to say, but I want to keep it short. Just the production, recording, mixing, mastering is stellar. This is like commercial grade. It's they don't need to be doing anything differently. The recording, I can tell that the rapper is wrapped in different microphones, but that's just how things are, you know, like especially if you're working with musicians remotely, it's difficult to be in the same studio, so that's absolutely fine. I think that they sounded enough like they were in the same room that it's definitely more than passable. That's the only thing I could possibly imagine to improve this, was to have them both in the same room, so that when they're having that conversation, it sounds like they're in the same room. You know what I mean? But they did so well trying to get that to kind of work this way in the track. It's very authentic. Everything's nice and wide in the stereo field. Lots of little bits of stuff to interest in there. No weird resonances in the frequency spectrum. It's nicely leveled. There's no elements that are more dominant than others. It's nice and loud with that pumping. Lots of bits of automation of the panning and stuff. Like the reverb filters and stuff like that. The vocals, the effects change. It's really good stuff. I hope they continue to make stuff of this quality, because it's a really positive direction for Bex Bright, as well as for Justis Chanell and GD Ambidextrous, to a point where I'm keen to hear more collaborations from them. But until then, thank you very much for watching this review of Memo. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go check out their various social medias and a SoundCloud page. It's also worth knowing that this track will be live on their digital streaming platforms as of March 17th. Stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time. I think the March 17th is today. Today is March 17th, so go check it out today on their digital platforms if you can. And please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this time, as either help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.